So, Dr. Nia, what does empowering individuals in their fight against cancer mean to you? And how does the foundation, the Bird Cancer Foundation, put this into practice?
It means that they know all of the information that they need to fight. They have all of the resources, all of the tools to make sure that they fight successfully, that they can reach survivorship, that they can thrive.
So what specific educational resources or tools have you found to be most impactful in helping cancer patients and their families?
I think every single tool. It was our expo that we had in April, All Things Cancer and Wellness Expo. That was very helpful. I think it was we just had in October our breast cancer educational videos where women and men talked about their journey going through breast cancer in different languages, English, French, Spanish, Tagalog. We had a Black male who had breast cancer and telling their information. It's workshops, it's connecting with the community to make sure that they get the accurate information. You are an accurate source because not only have you gone through treatment, but you have done the research, you have the credentials. Those are the things that we do. Not only, I didn't have to do research on you because I know, but connecting everybody to the resources in the community.
Because cancer journeys can feel so isolating. How does your foundation help individuals feel less alone and more supported during this time?
We do that by boots on the ground, one-on-one, have a sit down, let's talk. What do you need? I am not a clinician, so how can I get you to Dr. Chalice? How can I get you to this person? How can I get you to this person? Is it working? Is it helpful? Those are the things that we do because we always say we don't want to reinvent anything. There's plenty of practitioners and clinicians that know what they're doing, that get the results and help people, and we just make sure that they get to that.
Are there any particular challenges or gaps in the cancer care system that your foundation seeks to address?
There's a lot of gaps. Now there's shout out to the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. They put out billboards in 3 to 4 different zip codes or areas where they have determined, Delaware has determined that Delaware is number 1 for Black women to be diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. So that gap is that disparity. That gap is, do those women in those zip codes know that? That gap is, why is that happening? So that educational piece. So we seek to, for that example, go into those communities. Do you know that you have a higher risk because you live in these addresses? What does that mean? Well, what can I do? Do you drink a lot? Do you smoke a lot? Do you eat a lot of cheesesteaks? Do you do all these things? And it's not a judgment, but if you do smoke a lot, cut back so you can stop. If you drink a lot, cut back. If you have not exercised at all, you don't have to lift weights. But brisk walk, those are the type of gaps that we seek to eliminate.
Welcome to Talk the Wellness Tea with Dr. Chalice. I am so excited because today we have special guest, Dr. Nia Imani Bailey. Welcome, Dr. Nia.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Dr. Nia, I'm proud of you. This 32-year-old woman of God is the president. Did we say the president of Bird Cancer Foundation, making waves in the cancer world? They are the connectors, connecting organizations across the nation. But I'm not going to tell Dr. Nia's story. We're going to let Dr. Nia tell her story. So, Dr. Nia, what does empowering individuals in their fight against cancer mean to you? And how does the foundation, the Bird Cancer Foundation, put this into practice?
It means that they know all of the information that they need to fight. They have all of the resources, all of the tools to make sure that they fight successfully, that they can reach survivorship, that they can thrive. So what that looks like is, and how we do that is being the connectors, as you say.
Yes.
So if a patient is going through cancer treatment, whatever that treatment may be, and they need somebody to clean their house, mow the lawn, I'll say, Spring Williams, we need to tap you.
Yes.
Because this patient needs help. This woman needs help in New Jersey.
Yes.
If a patient needs nutrition or Reiki, unite for her. Let's tap
yes.
you. Needs counseling. Dr. Chalice, what's going on? This patient needs help.
Yes.
So that's how we are able to really make sure that the patient focuses on their disease.
Yes.
There's so much else that they could focus on, but if they solely focus on their disease, that then they can really survive and thrive.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about cooking for your family. You don't have to worry about the laundry, cleaning, getting to treatment, getting your children from school, all those other nuances that are very important.
Yes.
But if those things are taken care of, you can focus and get better.
I love that. Thank God for Bird Cancer Foundation. Can you share a story or example where Bird Cancer Education and Advocacy Foundation provided a turning point for someone in their cancer journey?
One story. I feel like there's like a conglomerate of stories. For example, there was a patient who was like, I'm tired between getting my chemotherapy treatments and my children look at me like I'm hungry. Yes. And I don't even feel like putting anything on the stove, whether it's eggs or anything like that. And we connected them to Unite for Her. Yes. And they offered them the box of food and the vegetables. And they were able to, and you know this because you're one of their providers, get counseling. And it was just so powerful because they were able to, the stress of them taking care of their children was alleviated with the food aspect because their children were fed. They were fed, and not just fed, but fed nutritious food.
I love that. Yes.
They were able to talk about what's going on in your mind mentally. Yes. They were able to incorporate exercise, just walking in nature.
Right.
And it was very powerful just to give them that connection.
Yes. Because
once radiation was completed, they had the tools to survive that. It's not, once you are diagnosed and you know this,
yes,
you're not just, you're done treatment, bye, that's it. That's not the case at all.
Right.
So they have the tools to always just sort of tap into themselves and to tap into the community so that they don't get a recurrence diagnosis.
Exactly. We have to manage that stress. Mm-hmm. We have to incorporate self-care. Self-care is selfless, not selfish. We have to start prioritizing. We have to have balance. We have to create and maintain healthy boundaries. Mm-hmm. We have to have a balanced approach to our health that incorporates our mental health, which is our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors, and our physical health, which is our nutrition, our exercise, and our sleep patterns, and our spiritual health, which is our personal relationship with our higher power, or as I like to say, our personal relationship with God.
Absolutely. It's so important. I think I was watching Billy Graham or something like that, and he said, one of the ways that we are obedient to God is taking care of our temple.
Yes.
And I was watching that, eating a cheesesteak, and I said, well, I guess I'm not taking care of there's nothing wrong with balance, but I didn't need to eat that.
Yes.
And I was like, that made sense to me. It's not just the mental connection, it's the physical connection. And I said, okay, well, here we go. Let me be obedient because I want to be obedient.
Yes.
And so, yes, to your point, the physical component is very important as well.
It's true. But, listen, Dr. Nia is a West Philly native, okay?
So I love cheesesteaks.
So we need to find out from Dr. Nia, where is the best place to get a Philly cheesesteak, Dr. Nia?
Delisandro's and, what's that, Roxborough?
Delisandro's in Roxborough. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go to Delisandro's in Roxborough to check out this cheesesteak? Okay, thank you for the recommendation. I'm going to try it because I can't find a good cheesesteak. Alessandro's, y'all heard it straight from Dr. Nia, West Philly native. Y'all don't get that twisted. All right? All right, Dr. Nia, I digress. But see, I love this. I love our relationship because, listen, we keep it real.
Yeah.
But then we're all about our business, too. So let's go. So how does your foundation ensure that people receive accurate and timely information regarding their diagnosis, treatment, and support options?
I'm glad you asked that question. We actually implemented a Cancer Connect program recently.
Yes.
So you go on your website and you fill out this form. It's not 1,000 pages.
Thank God.
Okay. But it's name, what's your diagnosis, what's your race, ethnicity, this, that, and the third.
Yes.
And so that we know what information that you need now.
I love it.
Do you need a Thriver buddy to go with you to your appointments? Because there's so much information that you receive, you're going to be overwhelmed.
Right.
What services do you need? And if you do not know, we're going to talk with you because you may not know.
Exactly.
I've never had cancer before. I don't know anybody in my family, friends, group, neighbors, community that have cancer. I don't know what I don't know. So we connect them with the resources that they need, but it's one-on-one. It's not like just throwing paper at them. Here, you read and you do it all.
Yes.
It's personal connection. It's boots on the ground connection. So that's how we make sure that we give them timely information because we know time is very important when it comes to any diagnosis, but in particular cancer.
I love your Cancer Connect program and the fact that it's one-on-one because you're right. As a breast cancer survivor, you get all of this information. It's like you get this packet. It's a nice little packet and thick packet and everything, but it's like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. This is so much information. And you might have somebody briefly explain things to you, but nobody's doing a one-on-one going in depth. But not the Bird Cancer Advocacy, Education and Advocacy Foundation Cancer Connect program, one-on-one specialized attention and treatment, which cancer survivors really need.
Yes, it's so important. You know, I can imagine that it's an isolating feeling and it's a scary feeling. Yeah. And I just can't imagine. Yes. And I know a lot of people that have gone through cancer treatments who just need help. And sometimes it's not the question of what do you need, but how can I help?
Yes.
And I think with that, it's easier to give that answer, you know, because if I say, well, what do you need? Well, everything. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
And sometimes when you get that answer, you feel like you're doing the work yourself. Like I might as well just do it myself.
Yes.
But how can I help? I feel like it opens the door to even for you to be like, you know what, well, you could do this for me. You could do that for me. And let's get it done. Let's get it taken care of. So you can successfully get treated and survive, thrive. That's so important. Not just survive, but thrive.
Thrive. Mm-hmm. I love that because you all know, if you don't know, I have a Thrive Breast Cancer Survivorship course that reaches people all over the world. And it teaches you all of the aspects and it incorporates the mental health, the physical health, and the spiritual health. But you're right, we want to thrive. Mm-hmm. And listen, Dr. Nia, not only is she the president of Bird Cancer Education and Advocacy Foundation, but Dr. Nia is also a radiation therapist. So she has seen many people come through to get radiation treatment. So, I'm sure you hear the stories. I remember when I was getting radiation treatment, I would briefly, share some things or, the symptoms people experience and all of that.
Absolutely. And you also get to treat the whole person. Yeah. Because if I just focus on treating a patient who has breast cancer, just treat their breast or a prostate or whatever, yeah, that's cool. But there's so much more to you. Yeah. And if I don't treat or understand or want to know, okay, Dr. Chalice, she's a beautiful woman, but maybe, there's something more going on. And I talk to you one-on-one. It's like, okay, well, maybe you need this and that can help you. And then you tap into that. You're like, I'm feeling much better or whatever the case may be. But, it's so much more than just admitting the radiation and treating the cancer, but it's really treating the whole person. And I think that's what I learned as being a radiation therapist, and also being in the field as well.
Wow, I love that because we need more radiation therapists to also have that viewpoint. Mm-hmm. I don't know that everybody has that viewpoint. I know some people are just like, here, I'm here to do a job, but got to get the next patient in. And healthcare can be like that. Fast moving, there's not enough time. But I think that's amazing that you take the time to really, care for the whole person.
Right. I think it's also a calling. You know that, so of course there's days where it's like, if I got to be there at 6 a.m. one more time, but as soon as you see your patient, it's like, I'm here for a reason, and it's like they sort of minister to me. I complain about I got to get up early and do this. And then I have a patient who's going through breast cancer radiation treatments or whatever. It's like, hey, how are you? And I got to pick up my child. I got to cook or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I can go home after this and take a nap.
Exactly.
So it's perspective.
Yes, it is.
And I've had this one patient who I just have to say she was phenomenal. You have to fill out this intake. And if you're, stressed or worried, and just to see your mental health, I guess, not levels, but if you need to talk to someone.
Right.
And next to it, she put like Philippians chapter this. She's not worried. God got her. She put scriptures next to each question that she is good. And that was a ministry to me because it's like, why am I worried? Why am I that? And not to say you cannot worry.
Yes.
That's normal, that we're human.
We are.
But it ministered that, God is in control. He knows what he's doing. And in this position that I am, it's ministry.
I love that. Mm-hmm. And if you all want to know where in Philippians 4, because Philippians 4 tells us, be anxious for nothing, but in everything through prayer and supplication. Make your requests known to God, and a peace which surpasses all understanding will guard our hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Mm-hmm. And you're right, anxiety is so normal because that's the first thing that hit me when I heard the word cancer. But I surely did do what your patient did. I surely did bust out Philippians 4. Mm-hmm. Let's pray and meditate because we can cast all of our cares on God because he cares for us. Mm-hmm. And he wants to carry our burdens. He doesn't want us carrying these heavy burdens, so I love it.
Thank you.
So what specific educational resources or tools have you found to be most impactful in helping cancer patients and their families?
I think every single tool. It was our expo that we had in April, All Things Cancer and Wellness Expo. That was very helpful. I think it was we just had in October our breast cancer educational videos where women and men talked about their journey going through breast cancer in different languages, English, French, Spanish, Tagalog. We had a Black male who had breast cancer and telling their information. Yes. It's workshops. It's connecting with the community to make sure that they get the accurate information. You are an accurate source because not only have you gone through treatment, but you have done the research, you have the credentials. Yes. Those are the things that we do. Not only, I didn't have to do research on you because I know, but connecting everybody to the resources in the community all over, we do our research to make sure, do you know what you're talking about?
Yes.
Because this is life-saving times.
I know.
So if we don't do the research, then I don't want to waste somebody's time while they're needing help. So we do the research to make sure that when we are connecting patients to that information, and we know that wherever we connect the patients, they're receiving accurate information.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Mm-hmm. Because cancer journeys can feel so isolating. How does your foundation help individuals feel less alone and more supported during this time? Mm-hmm.
We do that by boots on the ground, one-on-one, have a sit down, let's talk.
Yes.
What do you need? I am not a clinician. Right. So how can I get you to Dr. Chalice? How can I get you to this person? How can I get you to this person? Is it working? Is it helpful?
Right.
Those are the things that we do because we always say we don't want to reinvent anything.
Yes.
There's plenty of practitioners and clinicians that know what they're doing, that get the results and help people, and we just make sure that they get to that.
Yes, I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Are there any particular challenges or gaps in the cancer care system that your foundation seeks to address?
There's a lot of gaps. Now there's shout out to the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Yes.
They put out billboards in 3 to 4 different zip codes or areas where they have determined, Delaware has determined, that Delaware is number 1 for Black women to be diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer.
Wow.
So that gap is, that disparity, that gap is, do those women in those zip codes know that?
Right.
That gap is, why is that happening? So that educational piece. So we seek to, for that example, go into those communities, Do you know that you have a higher risk because you live in these addresses?
Right.
What does that mean? Well, what can I do? Do you drink a lot? Do you smoke a lot? Do you eat a lot of cheesesteaks? Do you do all these things? And it's not a judgment, but if you do smoke a lot, cut back so you can stop. If you drink a lot, cut back. If you have not exercised at all, you don't have to lift weights, but brisk walk. Those are the type of gaps that we seek to eliminate.
Right.
So for my example with Delaware, that's a fact now. And I don't, we seek not to wait. We learn something, we research it, like, okay, this is not just word of mouth, this is fact.
Yes.
And we go boots on the ground and talk to these people. Social media with the young people, because people have an attention span of 2 seconds. Sometimes I do. So get that information out there. So whether it's a disparity gap, educational gap, just not knowing what you may not know. We live in our own bubbles for the most part.
Right.
So just getting that information out there. So any gap that I never want a woman or a man or anyone to say, I did not know that about anything.
Yes.
I did not know I could get cancer at 24. I did not know that if I didn't drink this, I could. I did not know that. I knew I should not smoke, but I didn't know that I shouldn't vape.
Yes.
I want everybody to have that information.
Yes.
And so that's how we eliminate those gaps, by educating. Because as long as you have that education, you can still maybe do what you want to do, but at least you can't say you didn't know.
Exactly. Because we know that knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So how does the foundation reach and serve underserved communities who may face unique barriers in accessing cancer resources? That
connection. So for example, we have a lot of patients, or I say patients because I'm used to saying patients as a radiation therapist, but okay, I have cancer, but I don't drive.
Right.
Okay, let's connect you with American Cancer Society, because they have volunteers that can take you Uber, Lyft, taxi, so that you can get to your treatments without interruption.
Right.
Or I need gas money. I have a car, but I can't make it.
Yeah.
This is where you can go. So people that have unique challenges, we connect them with those who can help them with those challenges.
Yeah.
Whether, I could pay for my cancer treatments, I could pay my co-pays, but if I do, there's not going to be any food on the table.
Right.
My child's not going to be able to go to gymnastics, et cetera, et cetera. So we meet them where they are and have those services met, so that they can receive the treatment without interruption and successfully get through the treatment and successfully post-treatment. Because I think we always miss, obviously, we want to prevent it.
Exactly.
We want to treat it.
Right.
But I feel like we usually leave people hanging, congratulations, you're not dying.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
But I almost want to argue post-treatment and survivorship is just as important as everything else, because you don't want to recur.
Right.
You are now a different person.
Yes.
It's very important, that survivorship piece. And so those who are met with different challenges, or not, but to your question, different challenges, we make sure that those challenges are met so that they can live successfully in treatment and post-treatment.
I love that. And I love your focus on post-treatment, because, when you're going through treatment, and, I've experienced this, and I've talked to a lot of people that have experienced this, you're in survival mode. So you may not take the time to heal, or you may take the time to heal, but post-treatment, some other things may come up, and you might find, I need to continue this journey of healing, because I only thought of these issues during treatment, but now post-treatment, I'm presented with new challenges, and I want to heal in these other ways. So I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. What initiatives have been particularly successful in helping bridge disparities in cancer care and education?
I think this is probably because it's on my mind because we're planning it. One big initiative that helped, because I know we had it in April, was our expo.
Yes.
And I keep emphasizing connecting, because we can do so much together, and it's so important to connect. because the resources that we have are powerful within our networks, within our communities. So it was so impactful for people to not just see and get the information and just do. So yes, I'm going through treatment, but this is how I can successfully get through. Or I don't have cancer. How can I lower my risk? Yes. I am so stressed. What can I do? I can't. For example, I don't have cancer and I can't afford Reiki. I can't afford this, but what can I do? You can walk around your neighborhood and get some air. You can, in your space where you live, you can meditate. Yes. You can pray. You can, so we meet people where they are, and by doing that, we have our expos, we have our workshops, we have our, I like to say, it's like that church, touch and agree. Yes. You know, that saying, you know, just to make sure that wherever you are in your journey, we'll meet you there and make sure that you are successful in that journey.
Oh, I love that. And listen, the expo, you guys have got to get to the All Things Cancer and Wellness Expo. I don't think I ever had so much fun sharing my breast cancer survivorship story, educating the community, sharing resources, and meeting new other resourceful people and survivors, and then, you know, getting our little dance on the DJ. Oh my goodness. You guys just had everything. They had massages. It was just such a very nice atmosphere, and it was just so much fun.
Thank you. We're having it again, April 19th, 2025. Okay. And it's just so important. Like you said, massages, and this time we're going to have Reiki, and we had yoga. We're going to have that again, a nutrition demonstration.
I love it.
And just really having all the tools, I can't emphasize this enough, tools and resources to prevent, treat, and survive cancer.
I love this. So April 19th, 2025, All Things Cancer and Wellness Expo in Philadelphia.
It is at the DoubleTree Hilton, Philadelphia, Center City.
The DoubleTree Hilton, y'all. You guys have got to, great resources. You don't have to be a breast cancer survivor or thriver, because you're going to hear a panel of experts. You're going to get lots of community information that you can share. And we all know somebody, whether it's a family or a friend, that has survived or unfortunately passed away from cancer.
Absolutely.
And it's not just breast cancer, it's all things cancer. So you got to make sure you attend.
Yes, it's free.
It's free.
Yes.
It's free and it's fun.
Yes, so,
come on, you can't fun and free. All right. So what are your foundation's key goals for the coming years? Are there any new initiatives or expansions you're excited to share?
Yes. So the expo, April 19th, we are partnering with the Journey for Two, which is an organization that helps moms who have been diagnosed with cancer and a postpartum as well. My friend Alicia Henry Harris, she was diagnosed with breast cancer when she was pregnant and actually received chemo while pregnant. Wow. So she helps women, because back in my day, because I've been a radiation therapist for almost 10 years, if you were pregnant, you would have to unfortunately not be pregnant anymore to receive treatment. Or be pregnant, give birth, and then the cancer would metastasize. So it's great information to get out there that you can be pregnant and receive chemo. And I want to say, which is very important, she was estrogen and progesterone positive.
Wow.
Because estrogen, when you're pregnant, all your
estrogen increases.
Yes.
So that's how the cancer metastasizes and grows
when you wait.
Increase.
When you wait.
Yeah.
So she was able to receive chemo while pregnant.
And is her baby healthy?
Journey is doing just fine. She is 3 years old.
Oh,
Alicia is just
thank
fine.
You, God.
Yes, and meeting milestones.
Oh, such a testimony.
So, yes. So we are connecting and partnering. We're planning a cruise for survivors and thrivers in October 2025.
A cruise?
Yes.
So we going from the All Things Cancer Wellness Expo, fun and education and dancing, to a cruise,
which is also going to be educational. We're going to have a Journey for Two cancer walk. We're going to have Bexa there, hopefully, to do breast screenings. So not just anybody that attends this event, but then also everybody on the cruise.
Yes.
So it's very powerful. We're working on a research paper, and just partnering with everybody that we partnered with before, and new partnerships as well.
Woo! I love this. I love this. How do you envision cancer education and advocacy evolving as technology and research continue to advance?
I can envision it that the sting of death is removed.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's ever going to be eradicated.
Right.
I think we live in the toxins in the air and things like that. That can be a contributing factor. Stress causes a lot of things. But I think we can get it to a point with technology and research where it is a chronic disease.
Yes.
If somebody said to me, Nia, you have breast cancer or whatever, I would be like, Dad, okay, this is going to be inconvenient, but I would not have that fear of death would be removed from me.
Yes.
And I think we can get there.
Oh,
be better.
This. I know. Yes. What inspired you personally to become involved in cancer advocacy, and how has your journey shaped your work with Bird Cancer Education and Advocacy Foundation?
My family. Bird is my family's name. Yeah. And everybody in my family pretty much has cancer.
Wow.
So my family's from a little town called Inner South Carolina. Yeah. And my great-grandparents, Mary and Jurel, had 11, 12 children, and Mary and Jurel both had cancer. The children all had cancer except for one. My Uncle Robert does not have cancer. Mm-hmm. And what we have found to be the truth was, back my great-grandma was born in 1910. So the children and them were on the black side and everybody else were on the white side. Oh. And the toxins were poured into the river where they lived, and then they drank that well water. Oh, so that has been, that alters your DNA and causes cancer. And you pass that down to my mom's my mom and her cousins and us. So everybody pretty much has cancer in my family. Oh. And I want to stop that. And being a radiation therapist, I see a lot of people have cancer. Yeah. My dad in particular had prostate cancer. I'm a daddy's girl, so that's why I became a radiation therapist. And everybody on our board has had impact with cancer, and we want to simply, like I said, take this thing out of it. And that what it really drives us is not just a job, but it's mission driven. It is purposeful to make sure that we really, not just us, with collaborative efforts, we really make sure that happens, that we take that sting out of cancer. I always say in 1985, my Uncle Kyle passed of HIV/AIDS. Oh. In the 80s, it was a death sentence. Yes. My mom tells me, I think my brother was either born or she was pregnant with him. She couldn't even be around her brother because they treated it like it was COVID. Yeah. And now if you get diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, that sting of death is removed. Right. And so that's how I want cancer to be, that sting of death removed.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. How do you maintain a sense of resilience and hope while working in a field that can be emotionally challenging?
God and my grandma, my mom too, and my dad too. Yeah. But my grandma, they called her Smiley. She gave me the tools without saying I'm giving you the tools. Yes. But gave me the tools as I get older to persevere, and I got some bad mamma jammas in my family. Oh, and yes. I think just, my great grandma Marie, she ironed the robe of the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Mm-hmm. Wow. So that perseverance is not new for the Bird women. And it just was trickled down. And I don't think that, I'm walking around like, hey, I persevere. You don't walk around like I'm a bad mamma jamma, although you are, it's just in you. And I thank God for that. I thank my family for that. And it just keeps you going.
Because Dr. Nia is a bad mamma jamma. Like I said, 32 years old. And I love how your family comes together. I've met many members of Dr. Nia's family at the All Cancer Wellness Expo. And just seeing how they all come together to support you. And they're actually there and in the trenches and supportive of Dr. Nia. This just so encouraging. It is so encouraging. So what advice would you give to someone who has just been diagnosed or to families supporting a loved one through cancer?
Be there for those supporting. Don't ask a million questions. Sometimes they may not want to talk about that they have cancer. They know they have cancer. Yeah. So sometimes they might not want that. I'm sorry.
I know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, the sympathy.
Yeah, and if they want to talk. Yes. But if they just want to act like girl and just Read the room.
Yes, I love it.
I think that's important. And to those who are battling cancer, it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
You don't have to. Crying, there's strength in crying and there's strength in tears.
There is.
And lean on your village, lean on your community, because 9 times out of 10, those who are diagnosed with cancer, they're the strong ones.
Yeah.
And this is the first time where they have to, you're still strong, but they sort of have to depend on others.
Yes.
And it's awkward, it's weird, it's frustrating, but as much as you pour into other people, you better allow them to pour into you.
I know that's right. I know that is right. I love that, Dr. Nia. That's so good. So Dr. Nia has shared so many nuggets of wisdom with us, so many resources. B.A.E.D is the connectors. They are the connectors. So when you need something, you have got to reach out to B.A.E.D. Now, one last question I've got to ask you is, how can individuals get involved in supporting or volunteering with the foundation?
Great question. Go to B.A.E.D, that's B-Y-R-D, cancerfoundation.org, or Instagram B.A.E.D Cancer Foundation, or email me at Nia@B.A.E.D Cancer Foundation.
Yes.
Anything, just type in B.A.E.D Cancer Foundation and you can get the information if you want to research anything, if you want to volunteer, if you have any questions, if you want to enroll in our Cancer Connect program, whatever you want to do, B.A.E.D, B-Y-R-D, Cancer Foundation.
Oh, I love this. You know, Dr. Nia, it was such a joy to have you here. Again, Dr. Nia, she's a bad mama jamma, and she's doing her thing in the community as a radiation therapist in her full-time work, in her nonprofit work as the president, being a connector and just connecting communities, and really just turning your family's pain into purpose and power, and taking all of that power from those who have gone before you, and just sitting here shining and being her beautiful, genuine, authentic, loving, and caring self.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nia. I'm so glad you joined us today.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Adios.